Hey kids, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whichever the case may be for you today. This is going to be a bit more of a serious nature. Um, when I want to think I was 12 years old, I was on my third Big Brother from the Big Brothers Association. Now it's Big Brothers Big Sisters. I titled this My Little Big Brother because that's kind of his standing joke of it all back then. Um, this is why Chris got involved in drugs. And I don't mind talking about it. That's what happened. Okay, if I was 12, it had to have been 1973. It was my third Big Brother. The first one was an architect for Kalamazoo City. I liked him best. I won't name any names there. I liked him best, but he went through a divorce, and understandably, he had to stop being my big brother. The second one, his family owned a business, reputable. He was kind of nerdy. He ended up having a seizure when we were out on a boat one time, and I had to row us to shore. I don't know what that was about, but hey, he was a nice guy overall. The third one, by the time I was 12, that's what I'm estimating, was a business owner. He owns his own wholesale clothing warehouse and, at the time, several retail outlets. I love all religions, let me tell you that right off the bat. He's a little Jewish guy. Started off in a hotel room selling cases of jeans. Hey, that you can't condemn that. The man was a great businessman. Anyway, the first time that him and I were together, we went camping in a county park, basically. Company van. That's where we were going to sleep in this great big van. Or no, it was in a tent. He brought sleeping bags. Yeah. Well, we got the tent set up, and we were talking, and things are going pretty good. And he says, there's something I do every night that I don't want the big brothers or anyone else finding out about, because if they do, that'll be the end of us. It was at that point where I had gotten high a couple times, just a couple. I stole a growing plant from a neighbor, smoked the leaves off it, and got probably more higher off the chlorophyll than we did whatever was in it. But anyway, and that's what he pulled out a bag of pot, proceeded to roll up a joint, and asked me if I was gonna join him. I said, yeah. Being almost a teenager and Maybe I was 13. I wasn't going to refuse the opportunity. I wanted to be in with my big brother. I'd already lost two. So, yeah, he got me higher than I had ever been in my life. But I wasn't going to tell him that. As a matter of fact, he even gave me a light beer at Olinger's, I think it was. Seems like it. Seems like that was the name. Olinger's or something like that. Nothing sexual. Hey, let me tell you that there was never anything sexual, but it seemed like after that, at some point, even when we were at his warehouse, where his business kind of started, well, besides the hotel rooms, we always got high. Or if we were at his house, we got high. And that kind of, I don't know if he even noticed. Maybe he did. But that's when we got stoned at his home. I got high with his wife. I got high with his brother-in-law. I'm not going to say his name. I almost blurted that out. I don't want to bring names into this right now. I do remember that one of the people that started with him did kind of stress, "You sure this is okay with him?" He didn't act bothered by it a bit. Well, a couple of years went on, and his businesses grew, of course. And I kept changing areas. I moved 14 times while I was in school. A lot of it was due to my behavior, unfortunately. And it just seemed like he distanced himself from me as the years went on. I worked for him after I got out of the Marine Corps, not dishonorably. And it seemed like he lost confidence in me. And he distanced himself so much so that he gave me a job that wasn't where he was at. It was a separate location. It wasn't a bad position for a guy at my age at the time. And it was great security. Security like you wouldn't believe, but we used to go on the road. This was after, like I said, after the Marine Corps. We'd go on shows to different cities and set up because we'd already tagged all the clothes. They had a tag on them. And, I remember one particular night when we first got to Grand Rapids. I can say that. Grand Rapids Civic Center, I think it was, or one by the river there. Anyway, this one security guard, he was overly friendly. And I didn't think nothing of it. I'm wandering around to see what's around, and I even go down this one hall and I look, because I heard something down this hall and I didn't know what it was. And down at the very end of the hall, because we were inside this great big area, Grand Center, that's what it was. We were in this great big isolated area, huge fucking walls, but there at the very end was a bunch of pants in a pile. What the hell? So I go down there and I gather them all up. And we go in that door because we've got keys to that, every entrance to that area. And we're walking around, and here's this security guard walks up to us like he's coming from the front of the place, like he came to the front doors. I wish there had been cameras back then, because we'd have seen all he did is he got as far away from us as he could inside and came back because he had keys to everything. He's like, "Oh, hey, what are you guys up to?" I'm like, "Well, hey, we found all these outside the door here." He played the innocent role. That was just one instance. We're working for my former big brother. But I'm telling you, he made me feel like that was the way to be. And I've always been like that. I wanted to get his approval, and I never did. It seemed like he kept distancing himself further and further away. I I don't understand. And he's taken extra great credit for the other, what they call them now are littles. Um, the two or three he's had since then. And he's also been, I think, the president there for the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I know he had like a middle life crisis in his 50s. He had to go back to Western Michigan University and enroll in order to be on their tennis team and compete. And he did great. He went to Israel. See, I followed him. But he never paid one bit of attention to me since I've been online since 2008 or so. He's never inquired to me. But the other two or three littles he's followed their life complete. I feel sorry for the little man, because one day he'll have to answer for what he led me into, and that I know he divorced his wife. I don't know about his ex-brother-in-law because he was like a store co-owner or something with him in the college area of Kalamazoo or something like that. But I don't know what he did with those connections. I smoked pot with that big brother, his brother-in-law, and another co-worker that worked at the warehouse with me. The three of us. Like I said, his ex-wife. I've been in his home. I slept on his couch once when I ran away. And from there, I ended up, I'm going to tell a story about that later. I ended up north. Anyway, this is a story of what happened to me as a teen growing up and how I was influenced into marijuana. None of the other drugs were ever brought up. I will honestly say that. And I do know that when this man smoked pot, generally he rolled up hashish in it too. I never had any pot that tasted like it ever. That's just me being honest. Okay, folks. Like I said in the beginning, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening to my honesty. Until the next one, peace out.